Let me pop over here. Hello, welcome. It is time for one of our happy at home sessions for the month of April. In fact, today is our second last one. I know, this has gone by too fast. We did not have enough days because this has been so much fun when we got to hang out. So the final session will be this Friday, the 28th. So be sure to join me for that one. But today, what are we going to do? We are going to dig into the fun-filled world of stencils. So I hope you are ready for some fun today. Now, these happy at home sessions have been a lot of fun because they are all about finding the love within our crafty supplies. My name is Alice Bull and I run the Scrap Happy membership at scraphappy.org, and I'm really excited to when I started this series, I should say, I was really excited to do something that really felt uplifting. I started these in April of 2020, and we all know what was happening in the world at that time. Things were a little bit all over the place. And these sessions where I went live every single weekday at the same time through the whole month were just such a good way to connect, and also to connect with my scrappy supplies, to kind of try some things that I've wanted to try but hadn't had a chance to. So hopefully today will be a little continuation of that and be a lot of fun. So I have people saying hello. Danelle is here. Donna is here. Gina is here. I see Deborah in the house. And oh my gosh, she's in the ER with her mom. She slammed her hand in a car trunk. Well, I hope that they get her feeling better and that things heal up really well. Oh my gosh, that sounds so painful. Okay, so what are we going to dig into today? I wanted to play with stencils. I think I was dropping hints on Friday about doing something else, and I'm like, nope, we're doing stencils. It was one of the things I was asked for right off the top, and we haven't done any stencils yet, so it seemed like a great time. Now, if you've watched Happy at Home in previous years, you've definitely seen me have some amazing fun with stencils, doing rainbow colors and all kinds of fun stuff. Today I thought we would try something a little different. And I have the other stencils here, just in case we get that far, but I always way overthink how much I can get to, and then the practicality is I can't get that far, so we'll see how it goes. But I brought out smaller stencils today. I brought out 6x6 stencils today. I think they're mostly 6x6. Some might be smaller. I think they're mostly 6x6. And why? We end up gathering some of these smaller stencils, and sometimes as a scrapbooker it's like, well, I can only use these 6x6 for cards, and that is so not true. So that's what we're going to explore today, how we can use these 6x6 on our scrapbook pages and make stuff that's going to be for our 12x12 pages. Now, if you're not a 12x12 scrapbooker, that's okay. Adapt to whatever size. But I think that for me, like, especially when I started looking at 6x6, I'm like, how do they fit? Like, how do these work for what I want to do? It's easy. When I look at a 12x12 stencil, it fits on the whole page. It takes up all of my real estate. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Let's just color that in. But sometimes with a smaller one, we have to be a little more creative. Yeah, so Diane says, I still have problems putting stencils on 12x12. Most of mine are 6x6 and I don't make hearts. So there we go. There we go. Exactly what we're saying. Okay, so I brought out a couple different ones. I'll show you what I got first, and then we will talk about what I liked about these ones and why I pulled these ones out. Yeah, April says, hurrah for broadening our minds, utilizing more of our craft room. Deborah Williams, hello. Oh my gosh, and Wynell, oh my gosh. You guys, I'm so happy to see you here. Okay, let's bring this up. I'm here in the corner, hello. And let's bring up the stuff that I brought. So The first one that I have here is one that I have not used before, so that's why it is definitely on the top of the pile. This one is called Vintage Tile. It is a 6x6 stencil from Simple Stories. You can see exactly how much I paid for it, in fact. Probably bought at a scrapbook store if it has a sticker on it. And obviously this one can be pretty simple. It's like, hello, I can fit 4 of these onto my page. And we'll have a look at that. We'll make one. I think this one's pretty obvious, but I thought it might be kind of fun, and I haven't used it. So that will be where we start today. The next one I have is actually this one here it's from Scrap and Reflections, and this one was a prize from our Motown Memories load challenge. And so everybody that finished that load challenge got one of these stencils, and they are adorable. So yeah, I thought that would be really fun. Yeah, April says she loves this one because it would be easy to repeat, right? We'll look at that as we go through. Now this one here, it has this large part up here, but it also has a cool little play button section. And I was like, that is so fun because it really allows you to do different things with this. And I have an idea for what we'll do with that. I pulled out one of my old standard favorites of all time, and this one is my chicken wire. Anybody that knows that I'm a little bit of a crazy chicken lady. And so chicken wire is a great one. But I'm going to talk to you about why this one is so convenient, even if you don't have chickens. And then finally, I brought out these two together. They are from different companies. This one is from Photoplay. This one is from My Favorite Things. Oh yeah, this one was from the Crafters Workshop. And this one was from Scrap and Reflections. I think I mentioned that one. Okay, but this one here from Photoplay, I have also not played with yet. It has clouds, and it actually has different clouds on different sides, and we can make different fun effects. So I thought maybe we'll save this for the end and we'll play with some clouds. And then, you know, if you're gonna have clouds, you gotta have raindrops. Now they've got some different shapes, but these are really small and really compact, and those translate super nice to a small cluster or a small thing that you're doing on your page, but not so good to a 12 by 12 format, which is why I pulled out my slightly bigger raindrops. We'll have a look at that when we get to it. I'm gonna put these ones to the side, and this one to the side, and this one to the side, and we're gonna kick it all off. Now for today, I've decided that I'm going to use my Concord and 9 inks. Concord and Ninth is a company that makes some pretty fabulous stamp supplies. They have a nice color collection. They have just added to their color collection. I don't have those. So I'm also going to show you just how awesome your stuff is that you already have, even when you don't have those hot new things that in your paws yet. So that's fair, right? Diane says, I love the music notes. And April says, I love the player controls. Yes, so much fun. Okay, so let's have a look at this stencil here. Now, this one is 6x6, and I'm just gonna grab a ruler for just a second and just measure to make sure it is exactly 6x6, because if you're spacing things out and you want things to be spaced, it's important to know if it's actually the right size. So it is. This one's perfectly 6x6. Most of them are, but I have had some that are not. So this one will be really easy. I can just put it straight in the corner and then create my repeating pattern. Now, one thing that you should note is that with one like this, when you put it in the corner, you can see you're going to have this line here and here. And once you put this one over on this side, you'll also have this line here and here. So it's going to be twice as thick, but I think with this tile pattern, that's going to be okay. One thing to note though is that your edges, the very outside edges, are not going to have that double width spacing. So if that's something that would drive you crazy, then you're going to have to like play with bringing this in just a little bit, more fiddling, more messing around. But I have done certain stencils where I would do that because that bothered me. I think with this one, we're going to be fine. I just have a little bit of this like washi tape, but it's just tape for holding down stuff. And I'm going to use that. It will hold down my stencil, but it will also make sure that I don't get color where I don't want to have color. So, and this stuff comes up really nicely, so that's why we're going to use that. So, question, do you have stencils in your stash? And if so, how long has it been since you've used one? We did load in February, and I don't think I used a single stencil all month long, which is crazy. I love using stencils. So what was going on? But in February, I don't think I used a single one. So there we go. Obviously, I go through phases. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to tape it around to the back. I don't know if it's going to hold the stencil strong enough here, but we will give this an attempt. Some tape is stronger than others. Okay, and I'm going to bring this down close to me so that I can start the inking process. Now, in addition to using my inks from Concord and Ninth, I think we're gonna go with like a warm shades first. What do you think? Let's try warm shades. I might do 2 different color palettes for this. I think it'll be okay. So, hello Lauren. And Donna says, I have quite a few stencils, only used 1 time. I think you're with friends. I think you're with friends. I think there's several of us that can say that. So let's renew the excitement and passion for these awesome supplies that we have. So I've pulled out some different shades of the Concord and Ninth ink. If you're playing along and you're wanting to play with stencils, like just inks that are kind of in a similar color family tend to go nice together and make things a little bit fun. With this stencil, you could definitely do like different colors in different little sections. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do kind of instead, and I think it's going to turn out good. I think it'll turn out good. So we're going to move from light to dark with my ink application. So we're going to start with this grapefruit color and work over towards poppy. And get some of this on here. Now I'm using brushes. These are the Gina K Designs brushes. I really like Gina's brushes. There's a lot of these brushes, but if you're using a stencil and you're trying to apply ink to a stencil, be your own best friend. Get some brushes, even just a couple brushes, because you can kind of change colors in between. You know, if you have a couple, like one little set of them would be fine. It can be really good. Now with stencils, sometimes I don't go straight onto the paper, but I felt brave. Using a brush makes me break so many of my old standard rules that it's crazy. And I am using white paper here. If I was using another color paper, this could probably be really beautiful as well, but I just chose to go with this this white paper. It's cardstock from Close to My Heart. Okay, stencils are my favorite, says April. I use them a lot, but I also have several that I've probably never used. And Danelle says, I use my stencils on cards, but always forget about them for scrapbook pages. That's what we're here for today. Yay! Yay! That is what we're here for today. So I'm just going into the center with this grapefruit color here, and then I'm going to go into these corners and just kind of focus on the corner and not kind of go really into the edges very much, because I got other colors for that. So I'm going to just do some easy shading on here. Easy. And you'll see that I turn my brush. I'm like going in like set in circles, and I do turn my brush, which kind of just gets a little bit more of the color. Okay, so I think that's pretty good with this grapefruity color. And if I have like a piece of paper towel or something, I can just like dry brush off some of the color if I'm changing between. But you can see I've taken that color and I've applied it to my paper. So how much is coming off here? Like almost nothing, right? So it's if you're applying your colors, generally they're going to be here. Now, if you don't like the possibility of mixing colors on your ink pads, just take that extra little, take some little paper towel and just wipe it off the top of your stencil. That's all I'm doing right there, is just wiping it off the top of my stencil so that the colors aren't kind of contaminating. Plus, we're going from light to dark, which means that there's less chance of contamination. I'm not starting with the dark stuff and then ending up with dark stuff all over one of my light colored ink pads. Okay, last time I used a stencil was in Virginia doing Crop and Create at the end of March. That's really close. Like, that's recent, man. Like, good job, April. So yeah, it's fun. Deborah says, I have a huge binder of stencils and more on the way because of Vicky Bouton's influence. I get it. Okay, so let's have a look and see, like, what color is this? How much different is it? It's pretty similar. Okay, so because it's pretty similar, instead of like going in on those same areas, I'm going to start on these other areas. It's a sorbet color. So it's definitely a pinker color, but we're going to go in to slightly different areas with the sorbet color. I'll do just these kind of edges around here. So Sophia's here. She says hello, Alice, and hi to all. So fun. Oh, I thought my stencil moved for a second. I'm like, dang it, didn't I tape it good enough? I did. I'm good. All is good. Okay. Okay, so this looks pretty good. It's okay. Now we're gonna just switch it up as we go into pink. Is this my pink brush? I think it is, actually. So I'll just brush off, and like the same thing again. I've got like a little bit of color coming off there, but really not very much because I did that. So what has everybody else been up to this weekend or today? Anything fun on your plan that you got to do over the weekend? My fun thing from the weekend was cleaning out 2 bedrooms in my house. So, not very fun. Not very fun, but still needed to be done. So, whatever. Needed to be done desperately, actually. Okay, so now I'm going to go around more the outside of this flower with my honeysuckle. I wanted to call it hollyhock for a bit, but it's not hollyhock. It's honeysuckle pink. And I'm going around the edge of this flower to bring a little bit of that pink into the rose-kissed edges there. You might see some of it getting onto other parts. That's totally fine. This is ink blending, right? It's gonna be all blended and pretty. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And what else did we go? I'll go and do the outside edges of these because that's where we did the grapefruit. So I'm accenting the grapefruit parts with this. Now, if you like directional markings on your lines, like you like lines, you like to see like a little bit of drag of ink. When you're applying ink, if you're doing it in circles, you're not going to get a lot of color drag, right? But if you like the look of color drag, then when you're applying, choose one direction and only apply your ink in that one direction. Like with these petals, maybe I would go only the length of the petal back and forth, And that would totally, like, when you look at it, it gives you a different effect. So if you're wanting different effects, you can actually create different effects just by the method that you use for applying your ink to your stencils. Even with the same tools, with the same ink, the same stencils, the same tools, you can get a different look. Because I'm trying to blend these colors together, I'm definitely not doing that right now, but it's something to keep in mind. April says tomorrow's my birthday. We did a yummy birthday celebration dinner yesterday. Yay! And happy birthday. Okay, so let's take out my red one. This next color is Poppy. And you can see there's like no red on that brush. We'll just pick some up. The next color is my Poppy, which is more of a red. Yeah, that'll look good. Okay. And then we're gonna just like pop it into like a little bit of shading for around here. Some of this, but not too much, right? I'm just kind of adding just like a little tiny bit. Okay, you can see I'm kind of getting a little tiny bit up into those circles, but not a whole bunch. Just kind of going for this, and you'll see that it's kind of blending into the little spiky parts, but like not all the way. I think this is gonna look pretty cool. Okay, what do you think? That's all I need. That's all I need for that one, right? What do you think? It's gonna be all good and beautiful? Whoa. Okay, let's peel it off. Okay, this is the magical moment. When you're doing stencils, this is the magic where you peel it off and it's like, whoa. Okay, so be ready. We've got a little bit of adhesive down here too, but I think it'll just come. Whoa. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I just love the big reveal moment. Oh, and you can see how those colors blended. So I used the 4 colors. You can still see the grapefruit kind of in the middle. And then we've got like the sorbet colors kind of coming out of like the center here, accented with a little bit of the poppy and a little bit of the honeysuckle. Honeysuckle. Some of the honeysuckle. So that turned out so good. I know, April, she's like, the reveal. It's the good part. Okay, let's pull that tape off of there. And so for the stencil, because it's a little mucked up right now, right? We don't want to transfer that onto our next little part that we're doing. I will give this a little white. I'm just getting the excess off right now. And you can see there's definitely excess. And then I have on my desk, I have water bottle. Things move around a little. And I'm gonna just give it a quick little spray to dry it and dry it off, okay? I'm gonna spray it and dry it. Now, obviously with this one, we're gonna be doing this one 4 times. Not all stencils need to be done as much as this one will, right? This one is a little more intensive. Now, could I have colored this with a single color? Sure, it would look beautiful even with a single color. But personally, I think it looks even better when it's all shaded like that, right? So pretty, very pretty, beautiful, right? I know, it's gorgeous. Okay. So my plan would be to do this corner here in the same colors and then potentially do a slightly different color version for the opposite corners. Now, it could all be the same, but you know, if you met me. So that's probably not gonna happen. Will this tape go back on? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if this will go back on, and then I can just reuse it. If not, it's not expensive. But I think it will. It's trying to like me here. Be my friend. So yeah. This weekend, yeah, I got to clean out some bedrooms, but I'm thinking of making one of the bedrooms. Originally, I was just gonna make it a guest room, but lately I've been wanting to make an area where I can take photos of my layouts and projects because that's always a struggle. I'll tell you, 90% of the crafting I do is at nighttime, and then the lighting is just like, that's the official word, that's a technical word for when you have bad lighting. It's just so yeah, I try. This is crooked, that's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing this faster now, just so you know. We've got the colors, we know how pretty it is, so I'll go through this a little bit more quickly. I'm just brushing off the excess color so I can go in with my lightest color again. Okay. But yeah, cleaning out those rooms. I don't need another guest room as much. My kids have moved out of my house. They're grown-ups, right? They're 22, they're 24. Like, they're onto like their own life adventures, or Ryan technically is still living here, but you know, that won't last forever. So, yeah, I been thinking about it, and I'd like to make the one room into a little bit of a photo lab space for me. Now, do I need the whole room? No. However, the one room is really tiny. The one room is really tiny, so turning that whole space into a little photo area isn't really a huge sacrifice. And we all know that I have like my craft room already, so it's not like I am short on that. Okay, get that one, and then we did, oh yeah, a little, kind of just went around all these edges, right? Make it fast. Claire says, hey everyone, welcome. We are playing with stencils. This one is a repeated pattern that we're doing, so, or partially repeated. We'll see as things go. Yeah. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good. Right, did we get all the edges that we needed to? I think so. We'll switch into our honeysuckle. And we're going to add that into these corners. So, one thing about playing with stencils, like if you've done a stencil one time before, the next time when you sit down to use it, it's just a little bit better because you already know like what can work successfully and what looks good, like from the last time that you did it. So that can be very helpful. And let's see, we went around the outside of this circle, or the flower, I mean. Yeah, so yeah, cleaning out those rooms. And then I was thinking, well, I could turn the other room into another guest room. But my husband and I have recently started doing yoga. And I was thinking, geez, wouldn't like having like a nice little space all set up so that I didn't have to like, you know, worry about laying out mats or anything like that, having stuff in the way all the time. Wouldn't that be nice if I had like a little dedicated space for that? So I'm considering that now too. haven't just figured out what's gonna happen yet. April says, these kind of tiles always remind me of a certain restaurant from my childhood that had tile tabletops. Oh, Oh, see, they totally make me think of like those tin tiles actually that will be like on ceilings and stuff like that. Like that was kind of what makes me think of it. And then that makes me think of my friend Christy, who actually has a ceiling with like the tin tiles on it. And it's like so cool. So every time we're on a Zoom or some other kind of video chat, it's always, you always kind of see them up in the ceiling. And I'm like, that's just so cool. I don't have any like fun tiles like that on any ceilings in my house, but we did do a cool drop ceiling space in the one room, and it's gorgeous. Like, it turned out so good. The guy that came and did it was amazing. Okay, is that all I did? I think that's all I did. Okay, so you can see that second one so much faster, right? So much faster. Are you ready for the reveal? Reveal number 2. Oh, looks like I win. I did good. I was like, did I do it right? It looks right, right? Looks good. And even if they're slightly different, like, you know, you get the colors off a little bit, that's totally fine. Now, if I wanted, I could take this as is and do a scrapbook page. I wouldn't have to do the whole background, right? You've got room to do like a title. You've got room to add a photo. I would probably overlap the photo slightly onto this section. Maybe mat it with one of these fun colors. If you don't have that color of paper, you just make it, right? Like, especially brush around the edges and make that custom color that you need to go with your photo. So imagine the photo here and a title here. Oh, I'm actually really tempted by this. What do you think? Right? April says having a dedicated yoga space will help you keep that a daily practice. Okay, I don't have like a photo in front of me. I still just have this one. But like if I had a photo here that's matted with one of these colors, and then I did some words and stuff, like my title here. Oh, do I even need to do more? What do you think? So, okay, go ahead and let me know. Do you want me to do the next 2, or should we move on to the next project? Because I'm actually kind of loving this. So, but like also I could finish it and like do the other one. So that's just the great thing about stencils. We have so many options. Okay, well, while you're giving me your opinion, share your opinion with me. I will wash up my stencil so that it's ready to go or ready to go away. Water. So one or the other. I think you can put some solid cardstock squares or use it as it is. I really like it. Donna says, no, it's great. Looks good, right? Okay, so we'll bring it back out in just a second when I don't have wet inky stuff all over my desktop. Because, yes, we love, you know, if it's possible for me to make a mess, I will. Okay, I'll just go one more time over it just to get the rest, any little straggler bits of ink that I've missed. I don't love using paper towel to clean these things. I actually normally have a chamois, but I kind of lost it. You can use a microfiber cloth if you have one of those that you can use. So there's lots of things that work well for cleaning off your stencils. And when you're just cleaning like regular ink, they're so easy to clean. When you're using inks that are a little messier, like for example, Distress Oxide ink is a little harder to clean off. It's not bad, but it's that stickier ink, right? So, okay, so there we go. We've got the first project. I'm gonna pop these in here. First project is good. I'm gonna pop the inks into the stand and make sure my desk is clean. How to do, not too bad. And let's have a look. So first project, kind of lovely. April says, if you don't make a mess, you're not fully committed. Okay, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, Next up, we're going to do the chicken wire, and then I'm going to show you with the chicken wire, and then I'm going to show you something else that I will do. So I'm going to use this blue sheet for this one. This stencil is from the Crafters Workshop. They have so many good stencils, I tell you. And we're going to go into some more bluey green colors, I think, with this one. So I'm going to pull out some Oceanside and sea glass, maybe. That might be enough. We'll have a look and see. If I need to pull out more, we will. If we need to pull out more. So one of the things that happens when I'm scrapbooking is you need to make embellishment clusters, and you kind of want to set your page, set your layout down. So when you have your photo, if you just put it on the page, just in the middle, and there's nothing kind of supporting it, it kind of feels like it's just floating around on the page. So if you've ever looked at one of your pages and you thought, something doesn't feel connected, it doesn't feel right, look for those connections. Look for, do I have my layers touching? Do I have something that ties my photo down to my background of my page? Because it's one of the things that when I see people that are unhappy, and I know when I've made pages where I've left floating pictures on the page, that's where I feel like something just isn't working right. So rather than having floating photos, one of the things we can do is ground them and connect them to the other layers. And so one of the easiest ways for us to do this is with a stencil, where we stencil part of the paper in order to give us that little bit of connection to bring the photo to the paper. Okay? Makes sense? I guess we'll see in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to start with my light color here first. Oh, I'm going to tape it first because we know what will happen if I don't. It won't decide to move. Now, I will confess, when I'm scrapping on my own, I'm like a little bit of a dirty and fast scrapper, and I may or may not tape down a stencil. Just a confession that that may or may not happen. However, because I'm encouraging everybody to try this, this stencil is nice because it doesn't have a lot of space to have to cover, right? Like the chicken wire is the only effect here. And now I might not run all the way to every edge. This one kind of has a little softened edge, but we'll see with another stencil later that if you don't have that kind of softened edge, that you can just not go all the way to every single edge in order to create like a nice area for your background. So this would be similar to adding like a base layer to an embellishment cluster that you're kind of going to have things built up on. So think of this as the most basest of base layers. Like you've got your background paper and you're doing base layer number 1 here. And that's the great thing about doing this. Okay, I'm going to use different brushes because it's just going to make my job just that little bit easier. And I'm just going to pop a little bit in, not everywhere, just in parts of it. I've got the other color. Okay. Do we want to have any more? Should I peek? I think we want one more color. Okay, we're going to just go with one more color. I'm going to bring in the peacock, which is even brighter. Now, normally I'd use that brush, but I've already got it mucked up with this one, so we're going to go in with this one. And we're just kind of creating just a little bit of texture on our background, right? With this ink. Okay, are you ready for the reveal? We're going to reveal this right now. Okay, it doesn't look that fancy, right? It's just kind of simple and plain, but look at how much texture it gives to the background. And now when I take this photo and I have this photo here, it's more connected to the paper. Now, I feel that having another piece of it down here would be pretty great. So we're gonna do that next, but we gotta clean up this a little bit. Otherwise, it'll be a problem. Right, don't make a problem for yourself. So we're gonna just do that. And then you've got that base layer of your embellishment cluster pre-built into your background. Dry the back, dry the front. Okay, good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna do some up there and I'm gonna do some down here. And then with my photo in here, it's gonna look gorgeous. Okay, so let's go ink, ink, ink. Okay, I used this one on the light color. So we're gonna start and do the most of it with the lightest color. We're just adding a whole bunch. Subtle but cool, exactly, subtle but cool. Now, there's nothing that stops you from running it right off the edge. So if you like that look, like for this one, I'm not doing that, but there's nothing that would stop me from positioning my stencil over here. So it runs it right off the edge and that can draw your eye right to the edge. With this layout, I might end up cutting this down a little bit and putting some of this dark blue behind, like a little frame around the edge. That could be really pretty, right? Like it's just, there's a lot of options as far as that goes. Okay, so I'm adding most of the color, filling pretty much the whole stencil in this case because it has those softened little edges with the sea glass. Then I'm going in with my ocean side and just doing like a few little sections of the ocean side. And then we'll go in just with a few little sections of the peacock. And you'll see like I've kind of slightly overlapped some of the layers that I did before and maybe found a couple of new spots for this to go. So it's kind of like I got this color next to this color and this one next to that color. So it feels random, but it's not totally random. Random with the plan. Okay, and then I'm gonna just lift this off. We get the lovely reveal. And now, like, that's definitely not like a done type layout, right? Like, definitely not done. But once I add my photo in here, it just has that little bit of subtle texture and I can build an embellishment cluster off of that, off of those layers. And the colors are super, super pretty. I don't know if they're showing up good enough on camera, but it's pretty. It is pretty. Okay. Now, what I did with this one, sorry, we better wash this before I forget. Wash and flip. And just one more time. There we go. Okay, being gentle enough not to wreck my stencil. Okay, so that's that one. Now, personally, I think that that same effect with these music notes would be gorgeous. Almost like an abstract butterflies is what I know. Here's my abstract butterfly. Woo. Yeah, it's just a subtle texture in the background, and in the end, it's gonna be so pretty. Just being part of the layers that you create. It's that one base layer that you need at the very bottom to help connect all the pieces. Anytime things feel disconnected or you feel like something is floating on your page, connect them, make them touch, make them overlap. All that connection and overlapping is like awesome for scrapbook pages. Okay, so should we do this with the same colors? Because I already have the brushes loaded. We could do that. Okay, but I'm gonna do the opposite direction. Or we could just do like a whole section. Like this, these music notes would make great like base layers, right? But let's run them off of the edge, like what I was showing, like what I was talking about before. We're gonna run these ones right off the top of the edge. Now, because this one here has this little piece at the bottom, and I'm not gonna want those little play notes right here on my page, I'm just gonna cover them up with some tape. So anything that you don't like on a stencil or don't want right there on a stencil, you just cover it up with a little bit of tape so that it's not in your way. Okay, and let's put a little piece. Ooh, no, I better put a big piece here. So we'll tape it down here at the corner, and then I'm gonna run this piece down the side there. Otherwise I'm gonna end up with it all over the place. The brushes are not that like focused, right? Okay, I'm gonna use those same colors that I just did right here with the music notes, and we'll do the top and bottom corners so that there's like a little bit of a cascade. And you'll see that I'm not going to cover every single note because I'm going to create this cascade, and I might have to move my stencil and fill some pieces in, but that's okay. We can do that. So we're just going to go right off the top to start with, right? But over here, I'm kind of going to skip those ones, right? Because my goal isn't to like fill this whole sheet. It's going to be to create a bit of a swoop down the page. Now, one effect that maybe I should create on here as I move my stencil around, maybe I should do like a lighter to darker kind of gradient. That could be really pretty. So what do you think about that? I think that could be really, really nice, actually. So I'm tempted. Let's get a little more. Being pretty generous with the color, but I'm feeling like I want it even brighter. Okay. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna like make it gradient as we go across here. So let's pick this up, and then we're gonna line it up right there and stick that down. I'm gonna need more of the tape before I forget. Gonna need more of the tape, and yeah, so this is just a really fun idea and playing with it on the fly as we go. So here we go. Oh, wrong color. That's not the right color. It's not gonna like hurt anything that I've got it here, but since I've picked it up, I may as well put it down. But let's go in with the next color. And I might have to move it a couple times. No, my paper is trying to move on me. So it's kind of light, it's kind of blending here. And now we're gonna bring it into where it's gonna be darker. And as I move it into the next one, I'm gonna add a bit more color into making it brighter here. Okay, so let's pick it up and move it. Okay, come on. I know. Asking you to do tricky things. It's all good. Let's move on down. It's not going to be ready to go all the way down yet, so we're going to have to do another little line up here. Good. What do you think so far? You're seeing the reveal as we go. Donna says, oh yeah, we're asking if it's gonna be a long wait in the ER for Deborah's mom. Okay, and just keeping the edges kind of soft. And now I'm going to go in nice and bright. Get lots of inky color in here. And on this last move, when we switch to the peacock, oh, excited. It's going to be beautiful. And any spots when you're looking, like if you're trying something like this, and any spots that you don't like, you can either go back in with your stencil again, like just move it and lay it down temporarily and add a little more. So like say if I was unhappy that there's a big gap right there, right? It looks like a big gap. Well, I can just go in and like line this up for a second and say, okay, I'll just add a little more color right here, right? Not a big deal. But honestly, once you're adding all the stuff over top with your layout, you're never going to notice the little tiny space that's missing, right? You're not going to notice that. Okay, and now I'm going to line this final one up. Let's see, right here. I think it would be better if I can get it over to here. So I don't have it quite off the page at the bottom, just of the way it lined up. So I might actually have to add just a couple of music notes right at the bottom to make it like line up good, to make sure that it kind of streams right off the page. Okay, I'm going in lighter at the top where I'm overlapping into the other color. So I'm just going in a little bit lighter in there. And as I come down to the bottom, I'm swooping in and I'm gonna do my color in nice and thick and heavy. And you can see that I'm going heavier because I'm picking up a lot more color, right? Okay, we'll see if we need to add just a few little music note heads. I think so. I think it'll look just a little bit better if we add those music note heads right here. So I'm just going to line this up one last time. Stick it down. Come on, stick down. And I'm just going to add those little tiny little bits that went off the edge of the page. It's that little attention to detail that in the end, like I'm gonna notice it. Would other people notice? Maybe, maybe not. But ta-da! Here we go. Look at this fun page. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That turned out so gorgeous. So, oh, can I convince my screen to love it? So we've got the soft sea glass color up here. We're heading into the ocean side. And then we go on down into the peacock as we go. And then you can see like the colors are blending in there, right? So you get that blend in between the different shades of the colors, right? As you're going down and across. So happy with that. Turned out gorgeous. Okay, now, are my fingers a little inky? I got them a little inky this time, so I'm gonna set that up for a second. I just want a moment of creating clouds. Like I need to create some clouds. Like the clouds has to happen. I need to create some clouds. So let's clean this off really quick. And then I just gotta make some clouds, right? How can we not make clouds? Let's grab this. I thought I would be like overestimating how much I can get done. Pretty much, right? It's like, Alice, you tried to do too much. But how could I not? It was so much fun. Okay, let's get the back. Just being careful. patting sometimes more than swiping is good. Don't break your stencils. Okay. And let's play a little bit with some clouds. Another sheet of paper and the cloud stencil. So I have the cloud one. I have the raindrop one too. I don't know that we'll get some raindrops done today, but I'll definitely get some clouds. And like what they've done with these little ones are adorable, but you can see here, even their sample is on a card, right? It's beautiful what they've done on a card, and it's small, right? And small can be okay for some embellishments, but yeah, for this, I'm gonna need something bigger. Okay, so we're gonna do some clouds at the top of the page, and we're just gonna have to tape over some of these clouds on the thing because I know myself. I will get it all over the wrong spot. Okay, so now my stencil is a little bit more manageable for me. So we're gonna add some colors to the clouds. I'm gonna keep these same colors that I just had out because they're already here, they're already loaded, and I don't have to think. Although there is another aqua sky, maybe we'll use one of those too, huh? Okay, so we're just gonna add just a light little dusting along the top of this cloud right here. Now you'll notice I didn't go right to the edge because I don't really want that to be all over in the same spot. I'm gonna go in with this color up in here. This is Aqua Sky. This is a little more on the blue shades, right, than the greeny or sea glass color. Does anybody here collect sea glass? I went down a rabbit hole one day and I ended up going down this rabbit hole of people that collect sea glass. And I'm like, I didn't know it was such a cool thing. I had no idea. And yeah, then I was like forever seeing little bits of sea glass all over my Instagram. So just so you know, like that's a thing that can happen. If you think that all your clouds are starting to look the same, one thing that you can do is flip over your stencil, and then all the clouds will look quite different. Now, I didn't clean my stencils, so you know, I'm playing with fire here, but I think it's all gonna be okay. And then let's see here. Maybe I'll give it a quick wipe. Give it a quick little wipe. Just a little there. And then I'm gonna bring in backside, front side, backside. This stencil has like other clouds on this one too. So it's like different types of clouds and different types of puffiness that you can bring into your page. Because clouds kind of look all a little different, right? A lot of different kinds of clouds. Now, you won't have to switch colors, but if you do, like, you know, you just create different effects. I have seen some of the most amazing rainbow clouds. April Swingler, shout out to some of the stuff that she did with some clouds that were amazing. And she shared that on the Scrap Happy blog. That was a while back. I don't know how long ago that was, April. Do you have any idea? It was a while back. The rainbow clouds cards that you were doing, whoa, they were lovely. So I almost got this a little bit too dark, but really, is it too dark? Probably not. Okay, and I'm gonna wipe this off one more time. And I'm gonna just bring a little bit more of this peacock blue into it. And I'm gonna just do like a little line there. What do we think? Just one more little bit of cloud. So yeah, you can get like a lot of different cloud stencils, but even just having one, when you're flipping it over and getting different effects, can be pretty cool. Okay, so I've got some clouds on here. I do have those little raindrops. I think I'm gonna add them because we're here right now, so why not? Let's add some raindrops. The card was a long time ago. Yeah, Donna says, I'm like, let's throw your bottles in the ocean, wait for them to break and come back. Yeah, I think that sea glass wasn't really meant like that. I think like stuff just happened, right? Like I think a lot of the stuff that we see now, especially like coming out of the ocean, it wasn't really intended to be like like intentionally made. I think that some of it was just, you know, parties at a beach or different things like that, right? I'm just adding just a little bit of rain on here. I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? Like a quick little background, quick little layers, like, and you can see, like, did I do it perfectly? Pfft, no, but look how gorgeous it is. Okay, I'm gonna close these up for a second because, you know, my tendency to mess when I've got all the things open on the desk are real. Gonna pop these into a holder for a second so that they're out of the way. Gonna put that in the pile. Let's review really quick, right? It's so cute. And you know, just like a little super fun, super quick background. So I've got this little cloud background. Oh, it's blowing out there. Okay, so we got the cloud background. We've got the music note background. We've got the chicken wire little base areas for making your embellishment clusters. And then we've got the tiled background. So I think we had a really productive day. What do you think? I think we've done really good. Gail says, I found some sea glass on the beach when we went for vacation in Alaska. So cool. Yeah, I love that. And how fast does the ink dry? That was a question. The ink dries pretty quick. I'll tell you, like, it is a little on my fingers by the time I've done all of this, but I have not exactly been careful either. Yeah, this is one of the, it's just a regular dye ink, so it's not one that you have to wait on. It's not like using a Distress Oxide, which is a little muckier. These ones are pretty quick and ready to go. So yes, we have done all kinds of lovely fun things with stencils. We've been here for an hour, made 4 different backgrounds that are super fun and creative. Let's go here for a second. So when will I use these awesome backgrounds? I will be using them during the upcoming Load Challenge. It starts like next week. Oh my goodness. Today is the last day. April 24th is the last day to get the $15 discount, but sales will continue to be open until about an hour or so, 2 hours maybe, before the live event starts, which is technically the night of April 30th. Our first prompt goes out at 9 p.m. Pacific on the 30th for May the 1st. So we'll be scrapbooking every single day through the month of May, inspired by the Muppets. This is our load 523, frogs, pigs, and fuzzy bears. And each day we will focus on a Muppet character or theme of some kind, and then we will be scrapbooking our stories inspired by that character or theme or something about that character and their story. So should be a lot of fun, and it all kicks off every single day. So every day there's a story prompt and a technique prompt, so you have all the fun that you need for the whole month. You can get all the details at scraphappy.org/load. And if you do it today is the $15 discount. It will end tonight, and after that, it will still be available until it's time to kickstart the load. If you're a Scrap Happy member, it's included in membership. In fact, you get 3 load challenges every year and a little mini bonus little 1-week load. So much fun. And it's like my most productive time. Load is literally the most productive time for me. So when will I need these? I will definitely be needing these during our load challenge here in May. I'm really excited. And it makes it perfect timing because that's coming up right away. So thank you so much for joining me for this happy at home session today. We will be back this Friday. So we are not here Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but we'll be back on Friday for our big finale for our happy at home for this April. And we will be, we did stencils today. I'm not sure. I will be surprising you with something on Friday. Something will inspire me, and then I'll be like, we have to do this. So that's what's happening on Friday. So 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, back for Happy at Home. If you're a Scrap Happy member, we actually have a hangout on Friday as well for our Scrap Happy together, and that's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So that is one of our hangouts. So lots of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. April says load up on the googly eyes. And Wine Al says, thanks, Alice. I really like the way those turned out. I'm going to have to get my stencils and see what I can do. The fact that you can customize the colors and exactly how you want things laid out so it really fits with your scrapbooking is one of the things that is the best about stencils. And like this was just like those little 6x6 stencils, and so I think that they have so much more opportunity for us to play with and to really just get in there and do something fast and fun to help our create the layouts that we love. So that's what I love. Thanks for the inspiration, Alice. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Until then, happy scrapping, everyone. Bye.